Right, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another Redmond Roundup. In this video, it involves a lot of claims in which I aim to refute around the Jordan Henderson situation, because there's been this huge debate about Jordan Henderson, should he stay, should he go, and if those are saying that he should go, are they wrong and are they Liverpool fans? So that's one thing we're going to get into. And then the second thing is a couple of comments that you guys have made calling me out, and if you call me out, I like to call it out with you and then either refute or agree with the claim that you've made about myself. I think that's important, that in football, not only do you call out the comments where people say, oh, James, you're right, James, you're this. I actually more often, and you'll know this if you watch my live streams, I always try and search for the comments of the ones that are disagreeing or the ones that are calling me BS. Or usually I look for swear words to see if they're calling me names, because this is now interesting. You're emotional and you disagree. That's interesting. That creates good content. So let's analyse this from this point of view, because I always aim to make good content, but I also, and this is the more so, actually, I more so aim to create productive discussion, to try and change the perception on how people do it. But anyway, the first thing I'll talk about is this Jordan Henderson stuff, right? This Jordan Henderson stuff really annoying me because, sorry, someone called me, right? So this Jordan Henderson stuff, let me tell you both sides to the story, because the Liverpool fan base is really divided at the moment, and it's a big, big shame, but it's just the fact that we're not even willing to discuss with our own is what I hate the most, is the fact we can disagree, but we're together in this. We're supposed to be a team, we're supposed to be a fan base, and we're arguing with each other and saying who should and shouldn't be fans. Shout out to Liverpool Goals, he's one of the biggest pages on Instagram. And it's relevant because if you have big influence amongst the Liverpool community, you're going to drive a lot of opinions one way or the other, which is great. That's what we need. We need difference. It doesn't mean we have to hate each other, you fools. And I'm not saying this to Liverpool Goals, he's a great guy, but I massively disagree. And this is someone I like. I want this to be a prime example. I like Liverpool Goals, but I could not disagree more with what he said here. Now, I'm going to put it on the page so you understand. Some people want Henderson to stay because of the leadership, and then some don't want him to stay because they believe he's not good enough, which I think is a more than fair enough reason. But let's get into it. Liverpool Goals says, Jordan Henderson is a Liverpool legend, which I agree with, and deserves respect for all that he has achieved for us. Right, first claim, I've got no problem. I agree, he deserves respect for all that he's achieved, and yes, he's a legend. Next sentence, he says, some of the comments and tweets I've seen on social media are honestly ridiculous. Now, this is just his opinion, which is fine. After this, the next paragraph, he says, you can have whatever opinion on what kind of role he plays for us next season, but to see fans, I hated this bit, fans, what's with the quotation marks? Because that means you're implying that if you don't believe in the same opinion as you, then you're not a fan, and I don't agree with that sentiment. The role that he plays for us next season, but to see fans say he should leave the club is so disappointing. So that's all that's fine, but I hate the fans. So are you the moral compass on what a fan should be and what a fan shouldn't be? If you're FSG in, does that mean you're definitely a fan? If you want a player gone because they haven't played good for a couple of seasons, does that mean you're not a proper fan? Because I disagree with that logic. Next paragraph, even though he may not be at his best no more, interesting, he's admitted he's not at his best no more. That's the first thing. His leadership skills are far too valuable to let go, and I still think he has a lot more to give in a footballing sense. Reports have already emerged that he may take more of a Milner-like role, so I don't see where all the frustration is coming from. Massive respect to Leo, massive respect to the Liverpool Goals page. Go and follow them. They'll keep you up to date with some reliable sources based on news, and it's a fun page. But I couldn't disagree more with this. First and foremost, this whole thing about this Liverpool fan can determine how much of a Liverpool fan I am because of the difference in opinion. That, to me, sounds like if you were to add that in a political space, you know what I'm leading to. That's like limiting people's opinion, and then that's not productive at all. If you can't be open to discussion, then there's no point in even raising opinions like this, because if you're saying my opinion doesn't matter, what makes your opinion matter? Because you're not aligned with the football club, so don't be saying fans like as if you are the one who sets the definitive rule on who a fan is and isn't, just because a player has underperformed in recent years. Now, he's raised his leadership points. I understand leadership is important, I do. I also agree that it's a big shame if Henderson is our only leader, to a point where if he was injured, or if he weren't available, or if he left, we have no other leadership. That's a huge problem on a Liverpool scale. What happened? Look at the best teams. Man United, multiple leaders. Chelsea, multiple leaders. Why can't we have the same? Because when Frank Lampard left Chelsea, they were still winning Premier Leagues. When Manchester United lost some of their captains, they were still Roy Keane, they still won trophies. So you're putting the emphasis of Jordan Henderson's leadership as the determination on us winning trophies or not. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? If Henderson goes, we lose the leadership, therefore we can't win no more. Therefore, he should stay on over 100 grand a week. Even though you've admitted he's not good enough, this isn't just Leo I'm going at every Jordan Henderson in it. Not because you're wrong for wanting to keep Jordan Henderson. I disagree. I think it's better if he goes elsewhere. But the importance and the point here is to recognise what makes your opinion more right than mine. And then based on the examples I've gave you, some case studies there with Chelsea and Man United, keeping Henderson doesn't determine whether we win leagues or not. So it's not we're trying to be a detriment of the football club. In fact, those Liverpool fans who are saying Jordan Henderson out, they genuinely believe in their heart of hearts that's the solution of what Liverpool should do going forward. That's the solution to us getting back in the race if we start looking for new players. Because we've kept hold for some of these players way too long. So I don't understand why a 34-year-old midfielder, 33-year-old midfielder, who has been not great in recent years, past 2-3 seasons, he's not been great. Why you're not a Liverpool fan if you say that he should go? To me, that's horrible. That's a horrible thing to claim. And again, I then, if you're right, what's your premise and what's your source to determine whether or not I'm a fan? Especially if we're all looking for the same things, which is solutions and the success of the football club. So again, to the Jordan Henderson inners, that's fine if you disagree, I don't care, and you'll lose more sleep than me, all right. And I love Henderson, and I agree with all the things, he's a legend and he's this. But if he doesn't benefit the football club in the short or the long term, then what happens? And in 2 of the 3 seasons that Milner was playing that role, we never won any trophies. And we finished outside the top 4 in one of those seasons. So we can't put too much of an emphasis on leadership, which is the main reason people are saying Henderson should stay. I think what outweighs leadership and communication is being a good player. Let's not forget, if you want good leadership, assign Jordan Henderson as a coach. Assign Jordan Henderson as an assistant coach for 6 months to a year if you want. See how it goes. But let's understand his role that he's assigned to contractually with Liverpool. He's a player. Not the one who goes out and pulls loads of girls like Hamez. I'm saying he's a player, a football player who hasn't been as good in recent times. So I'm just saying, it's fine if you want Henderson staying, but don't try and say you're more of a Liverpool fan than someone else because they believe that he should go because he's old and washed, which is getting to that point. And then definitely don't say if Henderson goes, we lose so much leadership that we can't win titles no more. Because then you're saying Klopp isn't good enough to rebuild this team. So where does your faith align with? Does it align with Klopp? Because I think you'd be more wrong for wanting Klopp gone than Henderson. Therefore, in fact, I now want to say you're not a Liverpool fan. Do you know those fans who want Henderson more than Klopp and believe we can't win trophies without Jordan Henderson? I believe you're not a real Liverpool fan. How about that? Do you understand my point, guys? I don't mind if I deliberately piss people off. If you get pissed off over football, that's a you problem. It really, really is. But I think that's interesting, the way you're trying to claim I'm a Liverpool fan or I'm not. It's interesting. Anyway, let's get into the comments in which you guys have called me out. Now, you know my stance on FSG, right? And there's some people who make the claim, James, you have your stance on FSG because it gets views. Now, we'll go all into that claim in a second, but let's read the comments in my video that I posted earlier a couple of hours ago on Levi Colwill. It was one of those things. We spoke about the midfield situation. We spoke about Levi Colwill, and this was a comment basically saying I'm wrong for said things. Let's get into it. So from Nigel Smith, he says, you're wrong, implying I'm wrong. The issue isn't money. So apparently I said the issue's money on why we can't get more midfielders, which if we are a sell to buy model, I would suggest that that's the reason. But numbers we currently have we currently have 9 first-team midfielders, is what he's saying. So we already have a lot of midfielders. We'll only sign another player if a player leaves, regardless of price. Did I not say that in the video? Go watch the video earlier. So the first person is saying I'm wrong, even though I've said the issue isn't money, which I agree. I think we've got money. I don't think it's about money. But numbers, we currently have 9 first-team midfielders. I agreed with that. I agree. I said that in the video. I listed through all the players and I said if they don't go, then we're not going to buy. Literally said all this in the video. So you're saying I'm wrong. Well, then that means you're wrong because we agree on everything that you've just said. The reply to this comment was what was interesting. It comes from Loveall871. Shout out to Loveall871. He says, I agree with you, but this lad is feeding into the FSG out narrative for views. Okay, so the comment that he's saying... Okay, so both of these guys agree with the point I've made because I established the first comment... I said the issue isn't money. I believe we've got money. I put an emphasis that we've got so many midfielders. I don't think we're going to get another midfielder. And I don't think we're going to sell anyone to bring in another midfielder. So from Nigel's point of view, I agree with everything in which he said. Love All has then agreed with him. So therefore, both of these guys who are hating on me agree with me. Is it the Scouse accent or something? It must be something along those lines. And then he says, this lad, implying me, I'm the lad, is feeding into the FSG out narrative for views. Okay? Now I want you to go and do your own little bit of homework right now. Because let's say that's true, okay? Let's say I'm going to go with that notion. Okay, I'm only doing FSG out things for views, okay? I'm not a proper fan. I'm only doing this for views. I haven't been going the game my whole life. I don't live 15 minutes away from the stadium. I haven't been doing these things. So yeah, I'm not a Liverpool fan, correct? Type in James Redmond on YouTube. Go through all the videos and tell me, out of all the popular videos, non-popular videos, tell me where you find FSG out in the title. And look at the most popular videos. It's fan cams outside of stadium. So let's say that's right. I wouldn't be very smart because my most viewed videos aren't ones about FSG going out. In fact, it's about Sadio Mane being the best player in the world. In fact, it's about when we beat Arsenal 4-0 and I was saying Arsenal fans' tears. I'm drinking them and then I drank out the bottle. The most viewed videos on my channel is when we've lost games. Nothing to do with FSG. Go and check it out. We lost 7-2 to Aston Villa. Also, I've done a couple of Manchester United videos. They banged. You can check out the most popular videos on this channel and on Redmen TV. None of them are anything to do with FSG out. So if I was doing this for views and I went and aligned with this narrative for views, I wouldn't be doing a very good job. That's first and foremost. Second thing is, what have I done to suggest that I'm not trying to find solutions or I'm doing this for views? Because we've just recognised that FSG out stuff doesn't get views because my most viewed stuff isn't FSG out. It's either fun interviews after games or it's games that we've lost or Manchester United transfers. These are my most viewed stuff. So how come I'm unsuccessfully aligning with a narrative to get views, which doesn't get me more views? In fact, proof suggests, if you go and watch Redmen TV, who are more pro FSG, they like FSG more than I do, they get more views than me. So they get more views than me. They're FSG inners, and yet you say I do this for views. Wouldn't it be pretty stupid for me to keep aligning with FSG out? Because actually what it does, it gets me into more shit with people like you who agree with everything that I said in the video, but then say, you're still wrong, so that means you're wrong as well. So it gets me into more shit. Maybe I say it a bit too bluntly and a bit too honest, and the truth hurts for some people, I understand. In a modern generation full of wet wipes, some people aren't going to grasp it. And then some people will hear what I've just said and then say, oh my God, this kid thinks he knows everything. No, I'm giving you my point. I'm giving you the back and the substance to my point, yet there's no substance to what any of you guys have said. So I'm wrong because you agreed with every point I made. That's Nigel. And then Love All has agreed with Nigel, that in turn agreeing with me, saying, but this lad is feeding into an FSG out narrative for views. Well, I've just exposed that that wouldn't be working if that was the case. And even though it's not the case, there's Liverpool fan channels that get more views for being FSG in. You get more opportunities if you align with what the football club's doing. So it's not financially beneficial. It's not beneficial viewership-wise. You can go and do your research on James Redmond and other Liverpool channels. FSG out stuff doesn't get views. But maybe we might just get to the conclusion, maybe this Scouser just actually cares about his football club. Maybe he genuinely believes these owners aren't what's best for the football club. Maybe he doesn't agree with the blind positivity of keeping players like Jordan Henderson because he believes that's the solution to us winning trophies. And if he believes that's the solution to us winning trophies, then that means he's a proper Liverpool fan because that's what we all want, isn't it? We might have different ways of getting to the trophies, but we all want trophies. But when you say you want to keep Jordan Henderson in one sentence and we wouldn't be able to win the league without Henderson in another, that means you're saying Klopp isn't good enough. But then in another sentence, you'll say Klopp is one of the best managers in the world and yet he can win another league. It's very contradictory. It's actually quite pathetic and very childish from a lot of Liverpool fans. But I will keep doing these videos because 1, I enjoy pissing people off. 2, because it's my truth. 3, I will keep explaining my truth until somebody comes with a good enough claim to say FSG are good for this, which you don't do. No one does. Love All never done it. And he sounds like an FSG inner, right? So that's what we're going to leave the video there. I'm sorry if it weren't best explained. I tried to explain it the best that I can. But let me know your thoughts. And if you agree, boss, if you disagree, amazing. But let's see if we all understand the importance of common ground. We've all got a common goal and we don't need to be against each other. And you don't need to make false agendas saying James is doing this for views when hopefully now you realise that's inaccurate. Because viewership-wise, that's not been the way my models worked. My best videos are when we're doing well, okay? Some people might say, oh, you sound like Lee Gunner, all your best views and most viewed are wins. No, I'm just saying my most viewed videos aren't FSG out, which is what you're implying, okay? If you can't understand it, then you can't listen. Yes, guys, my camera died. So the last point that I'd like to make before I fully end this video is plain and simply, like, I could pee people off. I could just go, I could do anti-Manchester United videos, anti-Chelsea videos, anti-Arsenal videos, and they would get views. I speak about the problems of my football club, not for views, but because I believe these are the biggest issues. And if you ignore issues, it's like putting stuff under a stuffed rug or whatever the saying is. It doesn't help out. It builds up over time and it leads to not winning trophies, which is what happens and which is what I've predicted for years. Doesn't mean I'm 100% right, but it also means you was 100% wrong when you said we were going to keep winning leagues and stuff like that by keeping the likes of Jordan Henderson. And then you were wrong by saying I only do this for views, when I've just letting you know, I know that it doesn't get me the most views. So therefore, if I wanted views, I could just do anti-Man United stuff, but I care about my football club, not United. Therefore, I'll speak about the problems at my football club. But guys, thank you for watching. Much love to you and your mothers, and I'll see you all in a bit. See you at 9. We're going live at 9.